Biden is going to take up his presidency in less than 10 days, and all of a sudden, the US Congress is now showing unusual behavior. They're rushing to bring impeachment against President Trump. In addition, President Trump's Twitter account was deleted and blocked, including from almost every social media. When news came out that Trump had created an account by Parler, it led to even more abstract incidents. Google, Apple, even Amazon worked together and removed Parler from their app store. On the 7th, Rush Limbaugh, the host of a famous American radio talk show, said about the current situation. Washington ministries are in a panic. Officials are hiding in the corner for fear. They fear the warning that President Trump will never remain silent until the 20s. Rush Limbaugh criticized Nancy Pelosi for fear of doing something outrageous. And in fact, Pelosi asked the military leaders to prevent Trump from starting a nuclear war in his final days. He put it this way: who shoots whom with a nuclear weapon? To dictator Kim Jong-un? They fear that President Trump will release all the confidential documents that expose all of their crimes. Former Lieutenant General in the U.S. Air Force Thomas McInerney, who exposed the CIA corruption and the intervention in the presidential elections, also explained why Pelosi is hastening Trump's impeachment. On last 8, he said like this: on the last 6, she panicked when a special agent mixed with Antifa and Trump supporters entered the Congress and took Nancy Pelosi's laptop. Therefore, Pelosi cannot wait until January 20th, and we already have information about the treason. Giuliani also encouraged President Trump. There is no need to save face before the deep states, and there is no reason not to divulge the confidential information. So what secret information is the deep state most afraid of? Recently, a photo of Biden's son Hunter Biden and his pedophile tendencies leaked on the SNS, which caused quite a stir. The leaked photos are two terrible photos of a much too younger with a thick makeup applied and a person who is supposed to be a Hunter Biden. I will not show you the other picture where Hunter Biden is not clearly recognizable because it could be someone else. Dr. Mitchell, a California sex counselor, posted photos and said she was shocked by them. This is the man's son that is going to be our president? Of course, this tweet with thousands of comments was deleted very soon. Meanwhile, attorney Lee Nude wrote that with a large amount of the obscene photos and videos from Hunter Biden's laptop, foreign forces would be able to use them against Joe Biden and intimidate him. Don't you think we could have the contents of Hunter's laptop closely reviewed by law enforcement to make sure Joe Biden cannot be blackmailed by CCP or other foreign countries? It is also drawing attention recently, as Pelosi's son Paul Pelosi Jr.'s incomprehensible photo from Hunter's laptop was shared again. In the picture, he tidied the arms of a girl. Like this, the Democratic leader's family revelations about inappropriate sex crimes and behavior continues to come out. Lee Nude also revealed that Hunter Biden and James Bulger are still involved with the Chinese company. He posted an email to Hunter Biden from Wang Xin of Bohai Huawei, a joint venture founded by Hunter Biden in China, revealing that 6 other people were involved in here. And he added that the FBI was already aware of this. He also published a photo explaining the Joe Biden family scandal in China. He asked the people to guess who had prepared this detailed chart to show Biden's Chinese connections. Even though the China connection news came out months ago, at which point Lee Nude's disclosure shows that someone is still studying this case intensely. The disclosure did not end there. Yakov Appelbaum, founder of XR Vision, a video analytic company with AI, discovered the shocking thing on the laptop of Hunter Biden. One of the women who had an inappropriate relationship with Hunter was a spy named Jia Qi, who was sent to the United States by Huaxin Energy CEO Ye Jianming. Ye Jianming is a business partner of the Biden family, including Hunter and Jill Biden. Jia Qi was having an affair with Hunter and was hired to monitor Biden's family situation and reported to Ye Jianming. The most shocking thing was that she tried to help Biden win the 2020 presidential election through Hunter. She provided data on President Trump and also specific strategic tactics to defeat Trump in the 2020 presidential election. She reportedly even asked Hunter to help his father as she supported and trained him. This means that behind the scenes, a Chinese spy helped someone win the US presidential election. Jiaqi, who claimed to be Hunter's lover, even devised a bespoke strategy for Joe Biden. The document is entitled Uncle Joe 2020. The document also states how a person, Joe Biden, should come across within the Democratic Party. We need to create the appearance of Joe Biden as the best presidential candidate by shaping the image of him as a person who follows the rules, has compassion, and is as wise as an older person. And she stressed that when Biden has a debate with Trump, he should highlight Trump's childish and arrogant nature. She also told him to criticize the construction of the Mexican Wall and say it was a waste of money. XR Vision's Appelbaum was shocked that Chinese intelligence agencies approached the US presidential candidate's son, lured him with money, and seduced him with their charms, and even guided his campaign strategy. And he was upset for this. This situation has existed for years. What have the US law enforcement authorities done in the meantime? The open questions therefore remain. And what dark secrets are still being held back on Hunter Biden's laptop? However, there is another bigger problem, because even Parler was blocked from the all platform and is unusable. Then how can they inform the public about the crimes and classified information that bad people are trying to hide when the media and SNS are blocked? The Federal Communications Commission had previously announced on the 7th that it had sent an emergency message to all U.S. broadcasters. The U.S. Space Force, founded by the President Trump, said it has the ability to provide the information it wants to from broadcast systems around the world. John Ratcliffe, director of the National Intelligence Service, announced on the 10th that the Space Force became the 18th member of the U.S. Intelligence Service, and that Space Force announced like this. Space Force has been upgraded to full intelligence agency status. This move will allow full authorization of the global broadcast satellite by breaking down barriers to information sharing and ensure that Space Force leaders have access to all intelligence that it would need. On top of that, the US military also defended President Trump. Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, responded to Pelosi's demands that President Trump not use the nuclear button. He said that President Trump is still the supreme commander. Unless he is dismissed, the military must obey his orders. We can't get the president out of the military command system, and if we do, it's like military coup. In addition, there are 1 million militias enthusiastically supporting Trump who are angry at Congress and the court, who remained silent about election fraud, proposed an armed march toward Congress, court, and broadcast stations on last week before the inauguration. The militia, which played an active part in the process of American independence, are the units specified in the Constitution for the purpose of checking the public power of the federal government. Now, instead of the federal government, the far-left groups such as Antifa and BLM are their greatest enemies. When things turned out like this, Biden seems to have expected numerous Trump supporters to make a big event on January 17th. For that reason, on January 8th, he suddenly spoke of the need for the gun control and cheered for House of Representative Gavin Giffords, a victim of the shootings. Earlier, Biden did not directly mention gun control to prevent a drop in popularity during the presidential election, but he suddenly addressed about the issue after January 6. The National Rifle Association has more than 5 million members and is the nation's largest, oldest, and most politically powerful interest group that opposes gun laws and favors gun rights. On January 8, Joe Biden officially announced his position in the NRA. As a president, I pledge to continue to work together with Congresswoman Giffords and with survivors, families, and advocates across the country to defeat the NRA and end the epidemic of gun violence in America. The NRA is the largest private organization in the US with more than 5 million members and has positioned itself on its website. They will begin a concerted attack on the rights of American gun owners. We must be ready for the onslaught. In the past, during the Bush and Obama administrations, there were attempts to sanction and dissolve the NRA. But the NRA's membership was so large and its social influence was so strong that no regime could easily handle it. However, in this situation, Joe Biden decided to sanction the NRA, and that will lead to further confusion in the US. What do you think about this video? Thanks for watching, comments, also your likes. Be safe.